Hello sports fans, welcome back to the Bailiwick Podcast with me, Elliot Powell. With the 2024-25 football season just around the corner, I sat down with new Bulls manager Elliot Powell and his midfield maestro Luke Watson to discuss all things pre-season, new signings and what it will take for the Bulls to get across the line in the promotion race this season. Their league campaign kicks off tomorrow with an away trip against Belthorne Sports FC, and we had a really good chat about it all. So, without further ado, hope you enjoy. Elliot, Luke, thank you so much for joining us on the Bailiwick Podcast. Pleasure. Paolo, your second time here. I'm going to start with you, Luke. Your first time, your debut on the podcast. Tell me a little bit about your debut for the Bulls.
Yeah, I scored after about 30 seconds of coming on. It was I think it was a Vars game. I can't remember the side we were playing actually, but yeah, it went. I come on as a sub. I think Gary asked me just to hold in midfield, but 30 seconds later I was in the 6-yard box, so I didn't listen to instruction, but was on the score sheet.
Showing him how it was done.
Yeah.
And now here we are, new manager today. Paolo obviously had the job for a couple of months now, full pre-season, first competitive game this weekend.
Yep.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think, kind of wish it was this weekend, just gone. Really enjoyed the 6-7 weeks or so, and now I just can't wait to get going. No, it's going to be a long and gruelling season, but start with baptism of fire. I think it was Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, but that's the football that I certainly want to be involved in, that all the lads have wanted to be involved in and have given up an awful lot of time to be involved in across the last few seasons. So yeah, can't wait to get going, hopefully a successful one. And do you remember your managerial debut? Obviously very successfully at St Peter's Football Club. Do you remember that first game, walking into the dressing room? Did you remember the result, who it was against? Yeah, I do remember the game. It was against a team called Gregson Lane, I think. It was in Preston, so a bit different over there. You've got kind of shared communal change rooms, and they're basically just 2 cages in a room, so you can see the other team, and you're looking at some big grizzly northern guys. And then I'm stood there as a privately educated southerner trying to command a group of northern lads, and yeah, that was difficult. It was much easier with these boys. Did you ever think you'd end up here? No, I had no interest in coaching, so 5 years or 6 years down the line, and here we are, kind of stuck in the middle of it now.
With that being said, like we mentioned, taking the job on, been a couple of months in here. When you first were sort of offered that role and were really thinking about taking it, what were the sort of the KPIs that you saw that you wanted to immediately address?
Look, I think there's been some really good work that's been done with this group for a number of years now. I've been really fortunate over the last maybe 18 months or so to work with the likes of Luke and James, and the rest of the squad as well. For me, I just wanted to try and professionalise as much as we could. Clearly, we're not a professional football club. We're not a professional sports team at all. But these guys, the way they handle themselves in and out of training, they're as close to being professional as you can possibly be. I just wanted to up that a little bit in terms of the coaching sessions we put on, the infrastructure around these lads, and give them the best possible chance of kind of achieving promotion this year, achieving success in the FA Vars, etc. So yeah, the KPIs for us were just trying to put in a structure around the lads and give them as much of a hand as possible. We won't know if that's been successful or not until probably April, May time, but the initial feelings are certainly good from our point of view. What does that look like, professionalising an environment? What does that look like from a player? What have you noticed since he's come in?
A lot more stats. I think there's a couple of analysts involved, and you get your running stats not only from games, from training. It's changed from the days of not seeing any of that, but all that helps. It all gives players targets, aims. You should work hard anyway, but knowing that the stats are there, it makes you work even harder, and anything to improve you individually and as a team is going to help us.
For sure, and you've obviously got a big backroom staff with you. You mentioned a couple of analysts have come in there as well. How does having a good sized backroom staff of people you trust, how important is that to you in the way that you operate? Yeah, so lucky to have such a committed group of coaches and volunteers behind me as well. And Luke's spoken there around likes of Dylan and Jan, two lads that probably don't get the limelight that maybe they should deserve for some of their work, but Jan in particular has brought such a professionalism in that S&C side of things, and Dylan, the work that he's done, for example, for this weekend, pulling together footage for the lads to look at on Thursday night ahead of Saturday from both our own games in pre-season, but also Spelthorne's games as well.
they're the kind of 1%ers that we think will get us across the line. We weren't far off last year. That semi-final defeat to Croydon could have gone either way on the day. But I think those 1%ers should hopefully be the difference coming down April, May time.
What's impressed you so far?
I think the level of quality across the squad. I knew that we had 15, 16 very, very talented lads. I'd worked with them an awful lot. But to then see the young lads coming through as well that have got that bit of potential, who've shown something slightly different. We played a game against the League 11, kind of under 23 League 11, some really good quality on show there. And one thing that always impresses me about the lads is how together they are. It is a long season, it's quite easy to get frustrated with each other, to have kind of little cliques, little niggles within the group, but that just isn't the case. Everyone's very together, and that's a massive thing for me and my teams. And I haven't had to address any of those dynamic issues, which they take more time than actually coaching football. So that's been really helpful and really impressive as well from our point of view.
I suppose from a player's perspective, the core of that group has been together for a fair bit of time now. Does it feel that way from a player's perspective?
Yeah, like Elliot said, no matter what people's age is, we all get on together. We're all trying to achieve the same aim of promotion. So the better we get on, the better it is going to be for the team. It's a long season. It's probably a 50-game season, and little rifts that come in, and not going to lie, there will be some, but the less, the better, and the more we can get on, the easier it'll be to get 3 points on a Saturday.
And a lot of new people come in recently. Well, obviously a lot of new young players coming in as well. What's it like having some lads on the pitch quite a bit younger? Yeah,
it's hard trying to catch them. Yeah, just got to take them down now and again. But yeah, they give off a lot of enthusiasm, and it drives us more senior players on to match them, to be even better, to be sharper. And it's an aim of mine to try and keep, as much as we need these lads coming through the club, it's on me to try and keep my place in the team and keep them out of the team until literally they can get me out. So I see it as competition, but it's healthy competition. And that's what we need throughout the season, because like I said, it's a long season, and we'll pick up injuries, suspension. So the bigger squad, the more talent we have in it, the better. Yeah,
I struggled with that a little bit at times last year, didn't we, in terms of having a number of people out at the same time. Yeah. Was that something that you noticed, Elliot, immediately? Okay, we'd like to build this squad pool a little bit broader.
Yeah, I think looking at certain positions in particular, there was a reliance on a number of key individuals. Lorne being maybe the most obvious one, where if there had been an injury to Lorne, or obviously he had that cut to the head where he was back pretty quickly. If there'd been a long-term injury to Lorne, I think we would have been struggling last year. So it's about building that depth around the squad. We're really happy that we've got that in place this year. And we've also got a number of players who will be in and around the squad, more dual registered, who'll be still playing with their local clubs. Got some young lads as well that'll be in there for development opportunities too. So yeah, we're pretty happy that we've got that depth, and then it's on to us with the stats that we've got, with the physical performance stuff that Jan will be doing to monitor the workload and make sure that we don't put any of those lads into the red zone, so to speak, and get them injured and out for sustained periods of time. We are going to need to rotate. Really happy that the 22 lads that are in the core squad, there's not going to be a massive drop off in quality no matter who we pick. So those rotations will be really important, so that the likes of Luke aren't having to run 13k a game three times a week, hopefully.
Tell us a little bit about some of these new signings then. Who can we look out for?
Well, Dylan Bunell as a coach has done well in training so far, but no, I think in terms of players, James Sunley and Rye have really hit the ground running. Rye dos Santos, I think those two lads coming back from uni is going to be a massive boost for us. They're creative, they've got explosive power as well in the final third, and they're good athletes. I think that's going to be massive for us.
For those who don't know, James will play predominantly in the middle and Rye on the wing?
James is versatile, yeah. James could play anywhere across the middle of the park, whether that be in a holding role like he did for the under-21s when he captained them in the Marathi, more in a box-to-box role if that's how he set up, or in that 10, sort of playing off the number 9. But he's also pretty versatile out wide as well. So James is going to give us options across the park. Rye is your traditional winger. He's direct, he's powerful, he's going to hit the byline, he's going to get shots in, get crosses in, close off the back post. He's cost me a couple of leagues at St Peter's as well, so I know all too well about his quality. Yeah.
Are you catching him in a race, Luke? Or
no.
Working towards him.
I'm pulling out.
And this, I suppose, having these, a bigger squad, and also a large number of these younger players coming in terms of the future of the club in general, moving up leagues, looking 5-10 years in the future, these young lads coming in at 17, 18 is only going to be beneficial, surely.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're so fortunate to have had players like Luke Campbell, like James, who've had a longevity to their career that isn't to be kind of dismissed in the amateur game, the way they've looked after themselves, the way they've kept going, keep themselves in great physical condition. They're constantly adapting, constantly wanting to learn their own positions as well, and develop. And I think that's fantastic, and that's stood the island in unbelievable stead for 20 odd years or so. But simply there will be an end date on that, and there's no getting away from that, and we don't want to be in that Australian cricket type model where 5 of our greats retire all at the same time and then we have 10 years in the doldrums. So we need to make sure that we're bringing these young lads through, and there's no better environment for the young lads to learn off than around those fellas, and tap into all their experience and try and get, even if it's a couple of nuggets off them here and there, it's going to make a massive difference in the long run.
He called you a legend, by the way, there, Jordan. What's an Elliot Powell pre-season been like?
Intense, pretty similar to the pre-season, mini pre-season we had before the Island Games in Guernsey. Mm-hmm. It's very intense, very structured, very organised, but enjoyable at the same time, and that's what it should be. As much as we're there to work hard, you want to have a smile on your face, you want to enjoy working hard, and it has. He's created a very good environment, and I'm sure the lads will agree with me that it's, as much as it's been hard work, it's been a good environment to work hard in.
What sort of football can we expect to see?
Again, I'd say a little bit more front foot than maybe last year. I think last year we were probably good in our own third, not so good in the second third, and then definitely needed to improve in the final third. So hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can score more goals and be a bit more of a threat in that final third. Goals have got to come from elsewhere. I'd say there's only one lad who achieved a decent target in goals, and maybe we didn't achieve enough assists out wide and from midfield areas, and probably the defenders didn't chip in enough goals either. So there's a lot to work on, but I think from what I've seen of Elliot and worked with Elliot, he's very pressurised on the midfielders chipping in with goals, the forwards chipping in with goals, and playing front foot football and hurting teams more than we did last season.
Is that fair, Powley?
Yeah, definitely. I think I maybe grew a bit of a mantra in the local league of being quite defence minded, because we were so kind of structured at the back. I think we went through that season, we won the league and only conceded 6, and that clearly is, you rely on good defenders at that point, and we had a very good goalkeeper as well. But a lot of that came because we were pressing from the front. We were nicking teams in their half, and when we sort of turned over that possession, we were really effective. And I think that's what Luke's alluding to there. We want to be front-footed, we want to be effective. I'm not going to pretend that it's going to be swashbuckling every single week. I think those that watch the Island Games, there wasn't pretty football at times. The pitches kind of dictated that a little bit as well, but it was effective at least. And I think that's what we want to do this year. And in those home games especially, where we can trust the surface, where we can get the ball down a lot more, I want us to be that. I want us to get bodies forward to attack a lot more than we maybe did last year. But same as Luke's saying there around intensity as well, there's going to be some periods where I'm going to need to learn, because I'm coming in with this with an idea of this is how I want us to play, but I've never been involved in a 50-game season, as much as last year's JFA season felt like that, because it went on forever. I'm going to need to learn as well, and there's going to be times where we need to be pragmatic and adapt that approach, but the lads are more than capable of having a couple of different game models and displaying 2 or 3 during the period of 90 minutes as well.
I was going to say that, what have you learned about this group, and have you had to adapt your ideas to the group that you have, or has your ideas been like, great, this group is perfect for what I want to do?
No, obviously I knew the group quite well anyhow. I think they've really adapted. One thing I am really cautious about is that intensity. I said to the lads in the first team meeting, I've probably got hopefully 3 seasons with these guys, but after that I probably would have burnt them out, or I'll have burnt out, because I know that myself, my coaching team are really intense. We do ask an awful lot of these lads. Luke, probably the prime example of a lad that gets frustrated by 10 WhatsApp polls a day. But we ask an awful lot, and hopefully the lads will see the rewards from that. I'm sure Luke would vouch for it was worth it for the Island Games, and it was worth it for that 12-week period. This is obviously on a much larger scale now, but hopefully we can get some rewards out of that then just keep people coming back for more, and that's what we've had at St Peter's, what we had with the JFA, and very much hoping it's what we have with the Bulls now.
So what's it going to take for us to get promoted this season? Is it 11 WhatsApp poll messages, or what is it? What's the secret for the season, Luke?
Being better with the football, scoring more goals. I think we were close last year. I don't think we'd done enough on the day to be better. We weren't better than Croydon, so we didn't deserve to win in that playoff semi-final, and it was a big shame, because on days like that, you need your big players to turn up. You need 11 players to turn up, and that's not what we've done. Again, in a big game in the FA Vars last year, we were disappointing. So I think in bigger days like that, in more regular occurrences, we need to be better as a team. We need to be a bit more ruthless, not as reliant on Lawn, and just basically a bit better. We done well to finish second, don't get me wrong, last season, but there was periods where we weren't playing well, but we stuck in. But that's how a 50-game season goes. There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be periods where we literally can't score a goal. Hopefully they don't last as long as last year. I mean, we had a tough January last year, but we stuck together as a management squad, as players, and that's what we've got in abundance. We have got good character. We have got good resilience and mentality. It's maybe just the actual football that we need to work on to create more goals and put them in the back of the net.
Is that fire in the belly there from just missing out in the playoffs last year?
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively. I can't wait for Saturday because, the friendlies that we have, they need to be done, but they mean nothing to me. There's nothing better than playing for 3 points on a Saturday or on a Tuesday, and I literally can't wait. I'm glad there's 3 games in first week because I can't wait to get going and shake off that defeat, because it did hurt. You go 38 games, it breaks down into one game, and we got beat. It was sore to take, and it still hurts now. So the quicker we get going, the quicker we'll get over it.
Well, you say that. Saturday, Spelthorne away, first game of the season. Is there one game in particular that you're looking forward to?
Not so much, actually. No, to be honest, I know there's been a bit of change in the league. Some teams have come in, obviously some teams have gone out. Not so much. I look forward to every game. I can't wait for every game. 3 points tastes as sweet as it does against anyone. So not so much. I just hope that we hit the ground running firstly, because probably we were playing a little bit of catch up towards the start of the season. We finished very well, but this year we probably want to aim to start better.
Mm-hmm. And Powell, what would it mean to you to get 3 points in your first game?
Yeah, I think everyone that knows me knows I put an enormous amount of pressure on myself, no more so than Phoebe. So I think she'd be delighted first and foremost. I think all my work colleagues would be delighted, because I'd probably be a lot more happy to be around on Monday. I think that'd just be relief for me, really, just to get off and running. I've got massive confidence in the guys. I think last year's hurt definitely has motivated these fellas on. Commitment in pre-season's been great. Obviously had that success within the Marathi, which helped to wash away maybe some of what had happened in the playoffs. That was a nerve-wracking one as well. So I think we've had a good summer of reset. I've been chomping at the bit to get going since the appointment just after the Marathi. So I'm really looking forward to getting going and just hope it goes as well as the preparation has.
And finally, for both of you, a lot of people listening to this will be really looking forward to watching you guys get back out there and watching the live stream on Saturday, and looking forward to welcoming you back to Springfield. Any words to them?
No, I think the one thing that I would say is that the support means an awful lot. I know on Saturday people are travelling down to watch a game, my mum and dad included, and that's really special. I think whether it's 20, 30, 40, 5, it doesn't matter. I think any sort of support that we have is greatly appreciated. We know how much of a logistical nightmare it is to get to the UK, to get to these games, and the commitment that fans show to support us is absolutely huge. I personally can't wait to get going at Springfield as well. Mm-hmm. Again, that taste of the Marathi and having home fans behind you was really, really special, and to have that on a nearly weekly basis now is something that I'm really looking forward to. Like Luke says, pre-season is great. We've managed to get through without any injuries, which is the main thing. We've definitely bedded in some learning principles into there as well, but the atmosphere is slightly different, the changing room is slightly different, it's a lot more relaxed. I'm really looking forward to that. First game where we're out for the kill, we're looking for 3 points, and hopefully a crowd getting behind us, baying for blood as well, would be kind of how we need to go about the season.
Luke?
No, I echo what Elliot said there. To be fair, it's it does make a massive difference. The more the merrier that are down at Springfield, and even when we do go away and there's only 10, 15, maybe 20 people there from Jersey or supporting us as a team, it does make a massive difference, and it drives us on. And even for, you know, the club doesn't run itself, we're all volunteers. You know, there's a great amount of hours and work that goes on behind the scenes from a various amount of people from the committee, and you know, supporters are a big part of that, and the players do appreciate that, you know, and to finish a game and see all the fans down there, it is really good, and we hope to play an exciting brand of football that makes them keep coming back to support us.
Incredible. Well, Saturday is the day. Elliot Powell, Luke Watson, thank you so much for joining us. You can follow the Bulls this season. You can get your season tickets from their website, and you can follow the live stream through their social media links, which is out now, 12:45 away against Spelthorne Sports FC on Saturday. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And there you have it. Thank you so much to both Elliot and Luke for joining me in the studio for this one. It was a really interesting chat, getting to hear all about their pre-season preparations and how they're shaping up coming into the new campaign. As mentioned before, their first game is tomorrow against Spelthorne Sports FC away. A link to the live stream is all across their social media if you want to follow them live. And in terms of us, the Bailiwick Sport Podcast, keep your eyes peeled over the coming few weeks. We've got loads of plans to bring you more original and exciting content. So until then, good luck to the Bulls tomorrow. Let's hope Elliot Powell can get 3 points in his first game as new manager, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye bye.